Good evening. I'm Adam Levacy, FSPA Executive Director, and I am thrilled to be able to highlight some of the great work our members are producing. I hope this is a platform that can lift up and spotlight some of the amazing content coming from across the Sunshine State, but also be useful for everyone as a content and coverage idea generator. We will be doing this monthly, so make sure to keep submitting content, and we can hopefully brag on you sometime soon. All right, first up, let's talk coronavirus coverage. Get up my PowerPoint. Okay. So when schools were shut down abruptly in March, many yearbook staffs were faced with unique challenges, most only days or weeks away from their final deadline. There were now huge holes where content like spring sports or prom were supposed to go. And while they knew they needed to cover this historic moment, they weren't able to easily get interviews or take pictures because they were no longer face-to-face. Well, Pinecrest School's yearbook was one of the schools that did an amazing job with this pivot, creating multiple spreads full of content. On this spread specifically, I love the use of the visually appealing infographics in place of pictures, because even though they weren't able to get a lot of kids in the book via pictures, through these infographics and through quotes, they made sure to include a ton of kids just on this one spread. Probably, honestly more than they could have if it was a traditional spread with a lot of pictures. Also on the spread, they still recognize the performances in sports that got canceled, because remember, that's a story too. And then a quick shout out to their use of the QR code right here. That was a video recap to the first week of remote learning made by their TV production, PCTV. All right, now let's go to the next one. With distance learning sneaking up on all of us last year and many schools starting the school year this year online, CCNN Live at Christopher Columbus High School did us all a favor with their Zoom Etiquette PSA. They not only passed on important information to their student body, they did it with humor, guaranteeing to catch and keep their audience's attention. Let's take a look.
Hey Columbus students, here are a few tips to make sure you follow proper Zoom etiquette. Number 1. Make sure your name is your first and last name properly spelled. Your full name should be visible in the Zoom session. Number 2. Make sure you are seated upright and your face is fully visible at all times. Your head should be in the center of the frame. Make sure to be professional, not too relaxed for class. And also make sure you are not too close to the camera. Number 3. If you're going to use a background, make sure it's an official school background. Columbus has provided branded virtual backgrounds for students to use. Stay on screen with your video on and remain muted when you're not supposed to be talking.
Abuela, tengo hambre!
Using these simple Zoom etiquette guidelines, you're sure to have a successful virtual learning experience. Adelante.
Okay, I love this digital media presentation from the team at Eagle Eye News at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School on the Black Lives Matter movement. First of all, they do a tremendous job of not only giving you the full picture look at it from a national standpoint, but then they localize it for their readers, covering the protests that for many of them happened in their own backyards. One of the things I specifically really like on here is this Monumental Moments tab. When you click on it, this timeline pops up and you can click on days to get a short little blurb of what happened with some pictures that are included. I really like it because it helps keep the readers engaged, because you got to click on it, read the information, go to the next day. It's kind of fun. Another reason I wanted to spotlight this though was the use of Adobe Spark to create it. I instantly thought of our current climate in schools and how a lot of newspapers especially are wondering how they can get their work out to their school community. And I think that this would be a great way to produce important content between your physical issues. Whilst many students of Robinson High School were out shopping for school supplies, Anna Woodward of RHSToday.com was interviewing the new superintendent of Hillsborough County Schools. It's overall a great profile on an important person who, if you read through the story, actually started his job just a few days into March when he had to make the decision to shut down the schools due to coronavirus concerns. That's crazy. On a different level, I really just love seeing student journalists shoot for the big interviews and get them. I mean, if you think about it, this guy currently runs one of the top 10 largest school districts in the nation, and Anna was able to interview him. That's a pretty big deal. So congrats, Anna. What an experience. All right, and finally, one last little spotlight I wanted to do. Get that back up here. Back to my PowerPoint. Is simply this photo from CCNN Live. We could talk about the cropping of it. We could talk about the lighting, the angle, all of that. All I want to talk about is how I wish I was sitting out in those chairs right now. That was a really good job from Juan Pablo at CCNN Live. Thanks, Juan. All right, and that's it for this month. If you liked all this work and you want to take a closer look at it and actually see other work that we didn't talk about here on this broadcast, make sure you head over to our website in the resources tab. That's at fspa.wildapricot.org. And don't forget to submit for next month's spotlight. We want to see anything you guys have been creating and want to share with us, but we especially want to see the unique ways you're covering back to school, whether that's brick and mortar school, virtual, or even a hybrid. So make sure you keep sending it to us, and we'll see you next month. Bye.